Hi, my name is Jordan Stark, and this is my video for the second interaction for the Global Learning Project. Originally, I wanted to go to a Jewish synagogue with another friend of mine. Uh, he himself is Jewish, and I thought that this would be a completely new kind of cultural interaction other than someone from a different country. This would be a cultural interaction with someone of a different religion. And not only would this be moderately close and able to do, but again, it'd be a way for me to be completely surrounded by others of his culture rather than like last time where it was just me and Lehan, and it was just Lehan being the only one that was different. So that was what I originally wanted to do. Unfortunately, he had a family tragedy recently, and that was unable to come into fruition. Hopefully, I'd like to be able to do that maybe for the fourth interaction. So what I did instead was I went like the person who I talked to in the last video, Lehan. Um, I was hanging out with him again, and I told him, "Hey, tell me about or show me things from like your culture, like stuff that you and your friends would like to do, something that's big from where you're from." And so he said, "Okay," and and one day I went to his apartment. I went to his apartment, and we did three main things. One, he cooked me dinner. He cooked me stuff that either his parents would normally make him home at home, so I was able to like have some cuisine that he would normally have. Two, he showed me a TV show because I showed him an American TV show in the last interaction, so he thought he should show me one. And three, like a video game. I showed him some video games, and so he wanted to talk. He wanted to introduce me to one that he and his friends play, and one that's pretty popular where he's from. Um, so the first thing we did, got to his apartment, and he started making me dinner. He and his roommate, who's also from China, I think his name's Xiao Lu or something. I couldn't pronounce it really that well, so that was oftentimes kind of awkward because he would always need to fix it for me, and so at some points I just stopped trying to pronounce his name. Um, so anyway, he went to his apartment. He made me dinner, and the dinner was well, what I thought was very basic, but it's something. But it's what he would always eat, either at home or just when he was making himself dinner. It was just a bowl of rice, and some noodle soup with some other spices, and I think either beef or steak in it, some sort of meat. So and like it wasn't that like different or like that culturally just like culture shocky in any way because I've had rice before and I've had noodles and soup before, and so it was I I didn't really think that much different of it, but apparently this is something that he ate so often, so I didn't really say anything or complain because hey, it's food and it's dinner with a friend of mine, so there wasn't really anything to complain about. The only weird or funny thing was that he offered me chopsticks, and I really didn't know how to use chopsticks, so I declined, and I didn't really want to make myself look like a fool trying to grab noodles or eat rice with chopsticks because I really wouldn't know what I'd be doing. So I just asked for like a soup. I mean, soup. I asked for a spoon, and that's what I ate everything with. And I mean, it was food. It wasn't bad. It most of it tasted kind of bland in my opinion, but why I wouldn't bring this up, or why would I bring this up? It was good food, and yeah, so there wasn't really much with that. After that, or during dinner, on to the next thing. We were talking about the TV show that I introduced him to, Dexter, the American TV show, and he thought that it was his turn to show me a TV show that he enjoyed and that's popular where he's from. So he started talking about animes, and anime is just basically Asian cartoons, whether it be Korean, Japanese, or Chinese. Most of it's Japanese, but anyway. Um, so he was introducing it to. So he was talking about all these animes, and most of them I haven't even heard of, and before this I've only watched like one or two animes growing up, like Naruto or Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh, whether they would be considered animes or not. But so eventually he thought his roommate like spoke to him in his native language, so I couldn't really tell what they were saying. But apparently not apparently. I learned right afterwards. He brought up a show called Attack on Titan, and I've heard of it, but I've never really thought about watching it, or like I've never got myself to watch it. So Lee Han said, "Yes, that's it. That's what I'll show you." And so that's what was the show he was going to watch me. As he was going on Netflix and Netflix, yeah, and as he was going to make me watch it, I noticed that he in anime there's typically two kinds, or the way that it's brought about is in two ways. One's called dubbed and another's called subbed. Dubbed is when like, because most animes are made in another country. The language isn't English, so they would in America they have two options. One is to dub it with American actors, or two is to make English subtitles. So you can either watch it dubbed or subbed. He decided that he didn't decide. He grew up or not grew up. He watched the show with us. He watched the show with subtitles because it was a Japanese show and he was from China, so he didn't really understand what they were saying. So so that was just something that he was used to. Most of the TV shows or animes that he watched were with subtitles. And so we started watching it, and it was a good show. It's a very cool show. The only weird thing was that this was the first time I watched a show that was not in my language. So it was very unusual following the show only through the subtitles, but not through not through listening to their voices. So like the only way I followed along was through the subtitles or through their animation, through the face animations, and like that I was able to follow along, but I did enjoy it, but it was weird again, just not listening to my own language. So I would have enjoyed it more, I think, if I was able to watch it dubbed and if it was in my language. But this was something he was showing me, so I wasn't gonna question what he was showing me, or wasn't gonna like complain about it, because it ended up being a really fun, cool show that I excuse me, that I might continue to follow. And after that, since I showed him a video game, he thought he should return the favor. He told me to bring over my laptop, and I did, and we ended up playing a computer game that he and his roommate and his other friends would normally play. It's called Dota, or Defense of the Ancients 2, DOTA. And like that did not go well. It's a team-based game. It was completely new to me, and I didn't do well at all. So like it was just me, Lee Han, and his roommate, and because it's team-based, I wasn't doing very good at all. So I oftentimes was the reason why our team lost, and that was sometimes uncomfortable, and I could tell it was making Lee Han's roommate a little annoyed. But Lee Han still was like, "Hey, at least you're having fun, right? And like it doesn't matter. I still want to show you this, and like it's a lot of fun." And I'm like, "Yeah, it is," and it was, but I would have had more fun if I knew what I was doing and if I had more practice with it. Um, but again, I wasn't going to stop playing or argue against it because this was a game he was into. So anyway, that's basically what that was basically the bulk of the interaction. After Dota, it was getting kind of late, so I told Lehan bye, and I told his roommate bye, um, and I started walking home. And he lives on the east side of campus, so it wasn't that far of a walk. He lives off campus in an apartment. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't as culturally immersive or culture shocky as what I wanted to do, go to a synagogue with another friend of mine. But I was still able to uh, find out what he ate, like just let him make food for me, him show me stuff that he was passionate about, and stuff that he and his friends from China and stuff in China that he would do. And so it was definitely different. Especially, I think the most shocking thing was mainly watching a TV show not in my language, um, and I think it was a really interesting experience. Again, some of it didn't go the way I wanted to, or like some of it did make me uncomfortable, but it was just something new, and just because it was uncomfortable doesn't mean it was bad for me. So I had fun, and I'm glad that he's a friend of mine because we hang out outside of these interactions. So yeah, that's my video.